Hi guys, and welcome back to another Sonic Academy video tutorial. In this one we're going to have a look at how to make progressive house, and in this one we'll be covering it in Cubase 5. We're going to begin by creating our drums for our track. So I've created a brand new template here, nothing in it. So we're just going to open up our pool by using the Command and P control on a Mac, or Control and P on a PC will open up the same thing, and this is where we store all of our audio files. So I'm going to open up our Finder and just browse to where you downloaded the Progressive House resources. And in here there's a folder with samples. Just going to go in here and I'm going to go into our drums folder. Just going to highlight across all of these and drop them into our audio folder. And we'll copy them to the working directory, and we'll convert and copy to project if needed. Okay, I'm just going to drop these into a subfolder in here as well. So I'm going to create a folder. It's called drums. Let's drop that in there. I may as well bring the rest of our samples in while we're here. So I'll bring in our effects samples. Same again. And I'll just create a folder for that too. Drop them in, and I'll bring these in as well just in case we need them. May not need them though. Okay, so we can get rid of this folder for now, and we can hide our pools. We're just going to create a instrument to play our drums here. So I'm going to go up to the devices, VST instruments, and we're going to click in the blank one here, and we're going to click on the Groove Agent 1. And we will say yes to this. We want to create a MIDI track and assign it to it. And we're going to create some groups for our drums from the off here. So I'm just going to close that down and close this menu down. And I'm just going to rename this first one, this MIDI track here, I'm going to call it Kicks. And then I'm going to add a new MIDI track. I'm going to add another 3. And the second one we're going to call it Claps. Third one we will call Hats. And then Percussion for our fourth one. And these will all be assigned to the Groove Agent. That's the only VST instrument there at the minute, so it should already be assigned on the left hand side here to the output. If it's not, just click in here and make sure Groove Agent is selected. So all of the MIDI that you put in here will go to that. And then we're going to go up to our devices again, VST instruments, and just to the right hand side of the E here, we're going to click, going to create a stereo 2, stereo 3, and stereo 4. So we can send out our instruments to these individual ones. And then I'm going to create a bus for these. So I'm just going to right click, and we're going to go to Group Channel Track, make it stereo, just the one, and we'll call it Drums. And then if we go to the output of our Groove Agent, let's move this one down a wee bit. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. I can actually rename these as well. So we've got Kicks, Claps, Hats, and a Percussion. And we'll just send the output of the Kicks to our group drum track, and our Hats, and our Percussion. Okay, so this way we can control the overall level of the drums through one stereo track, but we can also control the individual groupings of the drums as well. So we can control the kicks and the claps grouped in their individual groups. So I'll just keep this like it is at the minute. I'll move our MIDI parts up to the top. I'll just collapse the Groove Agent and the VSTs, and we'll keep the group track open there. Okay, so I'm going to open up the Groove Agent. If we just click on one of these MIDI tracks, and click on the instrument button. If we hit our Command and P button again, or Control and P on a PC, we can get our pool open, and it's going to go to our drums. And I'm going to bring in our kick drum. So I'm going to go to the U kick, and then I'm going to go to the progressive kick number 2. So we're going to take the click from this one and the sub kickiness from this one, and then we'll bring in our snares here as well. So go for our progressive snare, and our progressive clap as well. We'll bring that in. And then I'm just going to sequence in a quick loop here. So we'll go to our kicks. It's going to create a 1 bar loop. Just draw across 1 bar and then double click on our kicks. I'm going to find this on our keyboard. So there's our kick 1 and kick 2. And we'll just draw in a quick 4/4 beat. And then if we go to our claps, I'll just draw on our claps as well. So there's our snare and our clap. So we'll just draw these on the 2nd and 4th. And then we can get rid of our pull, close that down. Okay, so I'm going to go in, it's going to solo our kicks here. Let's go into our kick drums. I'll go into the drum agent or the groove agent here. And it's going to bring the volume of the kicks down because they're just a wee bit loud at the minute. So I'm going to bring down the first one. And I'll go into the second one as well. We'll bring it down too, because they're just a bit too loud. I'm just going to shorten down the attack, or the release time on the second one. So you only want the click. And for our main kick drum here, we're going to take out the click of this one. So we're going to go to the amplifier of this and we're going to push the attack up slightly. Okay, so I think I'll do there. And then it's going to go to our claps and we'll let them come out. Okay, so for our snare, we're going to bring the volume of this back. Obviously, it's quite loud. And then we're going to bring the release time back on this as well, because we just want it nice and snappy. So we'll bring the release time down. And our clap is just a wee bit overpowering. We'll bring the volume of that back. So we may come back to this, do a wee bit more tweaking afterwards, but in essence, this is what we're going to be using. So I'll bring the release time of the clap back as well. Just make it nice and snappy. And then I'm going to go into the filter on the snare here. I'm going to put a high pass filter on it. So go to high pass. Let's move some of the low end from it. About 800 hertz or so. Maybe a wee bit lower. Okay, so that sounds fine for now. As I say, we may come back to this and do a bit more mixing in the actual mixing stage of the drums.